Casey's annoyed. Yay! That makes everything fun. Yay!
It's not a really good genre. Most of it's not good. But I guess it sells toys and figurines. So there's that.
I'm just gonna type in Idol Project Anime. Wait. Idol Project is an anime. Wow. Creativity is dead. We killed it.
Do I have to beg for us to stop talking about fucking idol anime? I will.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but yeah, I guess we could stop.
Okay, we'll stop. What's got you so sour, Casey?
What's the worst thing that could happen while you're sleeping?
Okay, a loud, abrasive sound goes off.
That's pretty bad. I as soon as I said it, I was like, oh wait, I could probably have been stabbed. That probably would have been worse, I guess. Practically speaking. But yeah, so I watched the stupid anime that we had to watch for this week, but then I was like suddenly very tired, and I didn't really know why, but I was like, okay, I'll go take a nap before the podcast and stuff. That's fine. I'll do that. You know, be in good shape. Nice, full of vim and vinegar and all that shit. And about an hour before we start recording, which is about 45 minutes before my alarm is supposed to go off, my smoke alarm goes off. Like, fully, totally going off. I'm like, nyeh, 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 going off. And I wanted to die. But not before I took my smoke alarm with me.
Was it yours or someone in your building?
It was mine.
Oh, that's so much worse.
Yep, it was mine, right outside my bedroom. And I hate that fucking thing. I want it to die. I have gone through so many fucking bollocks with this fucking smoke alarm. To the point I'm considering just calling the landlord and saying, hey, fucking fix this thing. Just so it will stop bothering me. But yeah, it went off for about a minute and then it stopped. And both time-wise and for paranoia that the thing would go off again and make me utterly furious again, I could not go back to sleep. So yeah, I'm having a day. Yeah.
Well, it has nowhere to go but up, so that's good.
I mean, because of this fiasco, I'm even more behind on the writing that I'm supposed to get done for tomorrow. But sure, up. Okay. I'll take your word for it. So, Fandom Flux podcast, starting on a high note, just like last week, because last week was all fun, and now this week is all fun too. You're welcome.
We have fun here.
I have some news that will cheer you up a bit. I have watched the entirety of Hamilton.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I watched it with my dad. We both loved it. Like, I'd listened to the soundtrack, obviously, when we made our bed a long time ago. I hadn't seen the actual acting and the props. And as somebody who's a theater kid, it was just awesome to see how they used the stage and how they had the costumes and the transitions. Very excellently well done. And yes, I know I used a bunch of nonsense words there. Very excellently well done. Because it's really hard to find a word strong enough for how impressed I am.
Yeah, the rotating stage was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the rotating stage.
Yeah. I don't remember what the other half of that bet was. Like, it was a whole thing with, like...
JoJo.
Oh, JoJo. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I got through 3 parts of it. I think I fulfilled my obligation.
You understand most of the memes.
Hmm. I feel like I got a raw deal on that one. Whatever.
Well,
Fuck JoJo.
hey.
Just wanted to say that.
I know some people who are very, very into it. I'm not as into it as everybody else. I like it though.
2 was great. 3 was garbage, and I don't understand why everyone loves it so much.
3 is probably my least favorite part. 4 is good. I like 4 a lot. 5 is okay.
Hmm. It's also really warm. Did I mention it's really warm? You probably would laugh at me for saying that, being in California, 0. But
Oh,
I'm
it's
in.
warm everywhere.
I'm in the state that's usually on fire.
yeah,
Yeah, you guys are not on fire right now. That's crazy. That's weird.
Not recently. I think there was
Yeah.
smoke the other day somewhere else, but no
Oh.
mass fires.
when there's smoke, there's usually something smoke alarm. I don't even want to finish that joke. It makes me angry again. So yeah.
Boy, were we just like, please, people, don't go crazy with fireworks. I know we're in quarantine. Don't go crazy with fireworks. We can't. Not again. Thankfully, nothing bad happened from that, other than people being annoying and using fireworks for the next couple days after 4th of July.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to October, where that happens in this country. Fireworks all throughout October, like a month before the day when we're actually supposed to use them. So, anyone wanna just kick us off?
Well, I already started with my Hamilton thing, where I watched the entirety of Hamilton.
Yeah, keep it going.
Yeah, I'll just keep it going. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I did beat Paper Mario: The Origami King, and it's good. It's not as good as my favorite Paper Mario games, but it's the best of the new games. So yay! And I think I did talk about that last time. Now that I'm remembering, I've just been binge watching all sorts of like. There's this channel called Atrocity Guide, because I watch down the rabbit hole and their videos on like internet stories and things like that. Things that have been transformed through the internet, and so Atrocity Guide, I've been watching that to just fill the time of like, oh wow, there's this mysterious thing that happened on the internet, and here's actually a possible solution to this. And I didn't even know this thing happened, or this was like some creepy YouTube video that got thousands of views. And okay, so that's the story behind that. Here are the theories. I always like sorts of just little stuff like that to fill the time, documentary style stuff.
Yeah, actually, I watched a bunch of that stuff too. Not that specific channel. I forget what it was called. The one that I was watching. It was like a bunch of weird little stories, real world stories, not internet stories. Like
Yeah.
the guy that got trapped in an airport for 20 years, and
Oh, I watched that one too.
half as interesting. And side note with the channels. Like, I think I started watching one and then it started recommending me the other one, so it just sort of mixed and matched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was a bunch of stuff like the quote unquote secret airline that runs from Egypt to Israel because there was a treaty that was like, hey, peace agreement, you need to have a route that goes from Egypt to Israel because we say so. And they're like, ugh. So they do it as awkwardly and secretively as they possibly can so they can abide by the agreement but also not really have a fucking route straight to Israel because they don't want to, because it would be politically not great for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, just seeing the process of actually how one would go through this to the point of having fucking cash in unmarked envelopes to pay for it. It's, yeah, okay. Bunch of stories like that. It was a weird, like, day of just watching a bunch of that while farming in FGO.
Yeah. I've not been spending any apples in FGO. I'm trying to be a good boy.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I already have like what I need from this event and everything, so it's not really that big of a deal. It's more for the next event that I'm worried about. Because that's when the character that I've been saving for is going to be out, and then I must acquire.
She's going to BB out.
Yes. It's like 2 weeks until like she's out, so
I don't even know who that is, and I assumed that was a lame joke.
It's a character that is basically Sakura but evil from Fate Stay Night.
Oh,
a different version of that. Let me clarify, because there was one in Fate Stay Night now that I remember.
yeah.
Like she's an evil AI kind of thing.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And yeah, hoping that goes well, because it's quarantine's still going on. Everybody is still like frozen in time almost, you know.
Are you guys still on actual official lockdown, or has that been lifted to some degree?
We were opening back up, and then we had to close everything back down.
Right. Yeah, that's understandable. Iowa was never on lockdown of any official form. It's just like they sometimes limited the amount of people that could be in a business at once. So we're probably, hopefully, going to go into an actual lockdown soon.
Yeah, we went into an actual full-on lockdown. We're not like full-on like lockdown, you can't go out or anything right now, but we are in like bars and restaurants with indoor dining are closed. Yeah, a lot of things are just closed back down, and
everything being takeout only.
And you know, my mom's currently fighting against the schools that are trying to that we're trying for a long time to get them to open up fully in person.
Great. That's stupid.
But she's reached like her union reached a compromise where they will be able to do distance learning, at least for the first few months. But they're required to be in their classrooms.
As in, the teachers are required to sit in the classrooms.
The teachers are required to sit in their classroom and do distance learning from their classroom.
Oh, I mean, I guess that's an okay compromise. I mean, it would probably help people to have a routine of going to work.
Also, just accountability.
Yeah, there's that.
So I'll be going to help her sort out her classroom and move furniture and stuff tomorrow. And do tons of copying. Lots of copying. So many copies. Yeah. Thousands of copies. My D&D game I've been DMing for like 2 years is nearing its end. by my estimation, we're probably going to be finishing it in October at the latest. And I've been doing this game weekly, except for like a few occasions where we've had to stop every week for now 2.5 years. So this is a big one. They're already like currently they're level 16. They'll be 17 once this arc finishes, and they're currently going up against a dragon that has invincible armor. However, once he uses his breath attack, it makes him vulnerable for a short period of time.
Okay.
And so the sort of difficulty here is baiting and trying to force him to use his attack so that they can actually deal damage and possibly break the armor in such ways that they can just disable it. It's a very big dragon too, like gigantic.
The first thing that comes to mind would probably be using its ego against it. So a lot of charisma rolls or persuasion or whatever to play to its ego.
Well, the whole premise is that this dragon is the champion of Tiamat and wants revenge against, because it's in the Critical world, he wants revenge against Draconia for essentially kidnapping and then, in his mind, killing his wife, his mate, rather.
Okay.
And one of the party members has become the champion of Bahamut, rival to Tiamat. So might be able to taunt him pretty easily if you're doing everything right.
That sounds very entertaining. I hope has the session happened yet for that?
Currently, last session they were forming a bunch of plans, gathering information, finding out where this dragon's sort of hiding out in, and they did manage to find out he was hiding out in the Lotus Den Greenwood, which is a misty, mysterious forest. And using a scrying spell, we're able to get a good idea as to his location. So they're having a fairy sort of guide them through this place, which is currently actually under management of an archfey that was exiled from the Feywild. And so their fairy is going to try to help them negotiate and see if they can get that archfey on their side to team up and take down the dragon.
All right. That sounds just as complex as a finale for a D&D campaign should be. So that sounds good.
This isn't the finale.
Oh well.
We're
long running campaign.
They're like level 16. They're really high up there. The finale, based on their decisions and what they want to do, is they've decided that after they have dealt with the current threats, and they get strong enough to use the wish spell, they're going to go back in time to the start of the campaign and stop the bad thing, like the inciting incident, from happening that caused everything to go awry.
Huh. Okay.
Because as it was, they didn't know it at the time, but everything was being set up perfectly so that the good guys could deal with the main threat that has been steadily building power, and all of their plans kind of exploded with the town they were in.
Oh.
And yeah. And so if they go back there and they stop the inciting incident and stop the kind of the major unbalancing of the plane that caused all these various issues around the plane and undo all the evil plans that were in motion, then they'll have successfully prevented a ton of future tragedy and loss of life and just loss of everything. So time warp.
So time shenanigans fixes all the problems.
Essentially, that's the route they're going down.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it works. Hopefully.
They worked hard to figure out how to make it actually work without causing too much trouble, so...
I'd say it's good to reward them for that. Then, I mean, if they really put in the work for it, it's not just like, oh, I can do this thing. So,
Yeah, no, there was a very they only got like the way ninth level spells work in that game is in order to get a spell of like the maximum amount of power you can get. Um, you only get one usually, and it's usually like your kind of your life's work sort of thing. And they had beaten a very powerful mage and were able to make some very successful checks to discover that this mage had been working on the wish spell. And the party spellcaster is like, I can probably complete this spell once I'm strong enough and cast it.
Okay.
And then they had to, make it so that there's a certain condition of being removed from fate that they had to fulfill in order to be outside of the bounds of like in order to be allowed to time travel, like other entities in the world are able to.
Hmm.
So yeah, the game ends where it begins.
It's most people don't really get that literal with their poeticness, but I like it.
I mean, they do, but usually it's more where, not when.
And there will be some things that will be left behind. Obviously, they can't bring everything and everyone they've ever met back with them. So it's kind of like erasing a lot of the things they have done and a lot of the struggles they have gone through, almost only keeping their memory.
True. I guess, I mean, they would have to help everyone they've helped along the way again.
Yeah. And they may not develop the same sort of relationships with those people.
True.
So it's basically throwing everything away so that you can minimize as much loss as possible. But before that, they have to go fight a plane. They have to go fight in the penultimate arc is them going to a plane that is currently dying and trying to stop its death so they can kind of get everything set so that if they do fail with their time travel thing, at least their home world and timeline isn't going to end.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough.
So yeah, it's complicated. I'm DMing two games right now, and
that
the second
feels complicated.
Yeah, when you DM for that long, it becomes complicated because you add more layers and layers. The other game is just like, oh yeah, now you guys have entered because the other game takes place in my original world, and they've entered into the sci-fi aspect of that world, which is very fun.
Oh, okay. I assume that does help make it so things are, a little different in your head.
Yeah, because if one's just a pre-built campaign and the other is like my own stuff that I built from the ground up, it helps me to be like, okay, I can switch over from one to the other. The problem is, though, is like I want to plan for one game, but I have this other game like tomorrow, but I want to plan for the other game. But varying levels of excitement. And once that game ends, I'm probably not going to DM two games again.
Not an experience you want to repeat?
Not unless I feel very, very comfortable with one of the games I'm doing. It's just very difficult to do.
Fair enough.
Because you can do one game very, very well, and you can do two games kind of okay. But if you want to be able to like do a game, then do like various one shots and try out other systems and everything, it's much more difficult. If you were to do that with two games, so like I want to try out new things. Like in one game that I'm a player in, that Dawn, who's in the Discord, is DMing. We switched over to Starfinder there, and that's pretty fun. Like I never really played Pathfinder, but Starfinder's fun.
That is actually good to know. I was unsure if that was a game worth trying.
We've only done a few sessions in it because it's bi-weekly, but
Oh, fair enough.
I've liked what I've played of it so far. You know, we're only level 1, but we'll see how it goes.
You guys didn't start it. Well, I mean, I guess if it's a new game, you wouldn't start at level 3.
Well, we had started at level 1 in 5e, and then when we switched systems, we went back to level 1 for just ease.
Understandable.
And she might work in lore, so it's fine. Like, according to the story, it's fine. Yeah, that's the one where we're all trapped in an MMO. And I've also been doing my Sunday ritual of trying to hatch a shiny score bunny.
Why?
Well, all my boxes are almost filled up with non-shiny score bunnies.
It's not really an answer to the question of why.
Yeah, that was not a that was a
You see,
result.
every time I think about the fact that I've yet again failed to get a shiny score bunny, I think about, man, I just want a shiny score bunny, and then I keep doing it.
Okay, that's still not a question, an answer, but okay.
Why not? I mean, I need something to do.
I feel like there are better uses for your time.
Well,
But okay.
I'm only doing it while I like watch anime or something.
Oh, okay. That's different then. I mean, it's just like a background thing you're doing to keep your hands busy. Like,
Yeah, because I've been watching the new season of ReZero is out, so I've been watching that.
oh, is that why people are talking about that anime again?
Yeah,
Okay.
first 3 episodes are out of the new season. It's very good, and I want to see more, but I can't. I need to figure out what the Netflix password is again, so I could watch it on my new laptop that I have. It doesn't actually, no, I could probably access Netflix on it already. I need the Disney Plus password. I need all the passwords.
Yeah, I had that struggle recently as well. I've been having that increasingly often, where I don't know what my password for this thing is. There's just so many accounts for so many different things. It sucks.
Mm-hmm. I bought some sunglasses though. They'll be arriving on Tuesday. Finally, I will have sunglasses. They're Ray-Bans.
So they're hellishly expensive.
So they were cheaper ones, but they're polarized and they're good and they match the brand that my rest of my family has, and now I can be one of them with a pair of glasses that I will actually treat with some amount of respect because they're not cheap $20 glasses that I got from the corner store.
I suppose that's fair.
Because I had a quote unquote pair of Ray-Bans from Mexico that were totally not fake Ray-Bans. Yeah. So that's about it, I guess, for what's been going on in my week. It's every week is slowly blending into each other, and it's just I don't know what to do.
Isn't it great? Yeah, it's something.
Because oh yeah, I want to do voice acting, and then I go and I look for jobs and stuff, and it's like, uh, yeah. It's hard to get motivated to do things, and then there's also like not exactly the best pick of jobs. I mean, I can go and apply to be in one of those top 10 video voice actors. Better than nothing. I think I might do another one of those unprofessional audiobooks, but I think this time I'm gonna do a fanfic or something.
Sure.
Remember to ask
Not sure.
permission first.
I'm not sure exactly what I would do, but might as well see what's out there. Want to get something bad, or at least funny. Anyway, yeah, that's it for my week.
So, how you doing?
Not bad. So on Tuesday, I had the other half of my nerve stripping denervation surgery. That was nice. Reacted a little less well to the anesthesia this time, and there was a lot of vomiting. So, that was
Lovely.
great. Yeah, it's really bad when you are barely conscious, but you're still conscious mentally, and you can't bring your arm to gesture to the trash can, and you just throw up on yourself. It's great. That's gonna stick with me for a while. But aside from that, the pain levels are much lower than last time. I don't know if I'm just used to it or if I'm being more diligent this time about how I move. I'm not really sure, but it's definitely going better. I've been keeping busy with mostly video games. Honestly, I went to D&D at the game shop I like to go to yesterday, so that was a lot of fun. My only social interaction ever these days. Boy, that's depressing. They're doing a new thing where, man, people who don't like D&D are going to be really bored by this whole podcast. But anyway, they're doing this thing where they have a season where you play the same character if you want. I mean, you can change characters, and every 2 sessions you level up. Even if you're not there, every 2 weeks you gain a level, and it's from levels 3 to level 10. And the next season is going to be 11 to 20. I'm playing a Tortle Grave Cleric. So my plan next season, if I'm still around and haven't moved by then, because I do plan to move to Minnesota next year, is to use Divine Intervention to make the big bad fail his critical fail the next spell save against him, and then use a spell scroll of Plane Shift, I think the spell is called, and send him straight to the plane of Pandemonium, and then teleport away while giving him the finger. So I fully plan to ruin the finale of the next season at the shops, and it's going to be great. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm going to try. I mean, it'll beat the bad guy. It's a little anticlimactic. So who knows? But so far, it's been a lot of fun playing as a support character, as opposed to my usual was a warlock, and I usually focused on mental spells to incapacitate or heavily damage enemies that were resistant to most everything else. But just kind of sitting in the back and watching people make idiots of themselves, it's pretty good. It's very entertaining. I have noticed the shop is introducing a lot of new DMs to the place, though, and I have noticed a lot of new DM problems have been cropping up.
Oh, no.
Like heavy railroading. If the session takes too long, the DM NPCs start showing up. So that's irritating, to be quote unquote saved by a bunch of people that are so high in AC and power you cannot actually fight them, supposedly. So
I hate that. I hate that, like, okay, if you need to end the session and battle's going on for too long, there's ways you can do besides DM NPC shows up and solves the problem for you.
Yeah, there's many ways you can do that. Many ways better than what they decided to do. But, oh well. I just won't sit at that guy's table, because I guess that's a common thing with him. It's a faction called the Vultures. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing of them taking credit for the victory. It's funny, I'll admit, it's funny, but when it happens to you, it's fucking irritating.
Mm-hmm. Because when I had a DM who was, the bad DM who would constantly have his fancy characters who all tried very hard to be cool, show up and solve the problem for us, and we didn't really have. We ended up feeling like we had no agency because it's like, are we just here to watch your characters be cool?
Yeah, I mean that's what happens. Yeah, it's not great.
And I've had in my games high level NPC characters that are part of the world, and if the characters are ally with them, they will help them out. But I'm always very careful when I have those characters on the same battlefield that they don't just steal the spotlight.
Yeah,
it's just they are playing a supporting role to help the player character shine.
it's also not a bad idea to occasionally kill one of them off.
Yeah,
have the enemies have something powerful enough to actually one-shot them or something.
I had one of the powerful characters. They got imprisonment casted on them.
Oh shit!
Yeah, yoink, they're gone.
Oh no, where's the safety net?
These people these things you're fighting are very dangerous. Deal with them.
Yeah. So, yeah, the railroading was, it was okay. It was brief. We were walking through this dark, enchanted forest. Any magical light was not. It was like 5 feet of light, no matter what source you had. So we could barely see. We were fighting shadow creatures, and then we just kind of had to one by one make con saves. And near the end, it came out that you had to nat 20 to succeed on the save. The DC was like 40. So
why?
I don't know. I don't even know why we went through that section of the quote unquote campaign, because we just woke up in a cave surrounded by things that wanted to kill us. And then there was going to be this thing where we were going to be sectioned off like one by one and then fight in this arena. But we broke free because the DM didn't gag the spellcasters, which was me. So the second I tested out a Sacred Flame to see if it worked and I hit, I just started casting. And then the barbarians got angry.
So anyway, I started casting.
Yeah, it was literally that. I mean, it was that with guiding bolts. I mean, and then our hulks broke out because we had 2 barbarians, which was pretty fun. It was nice that they were like throwing each other. Yeah, a Minotaur and a Warforged. They work pretty well together. Who knew? So, yeah, I don't really have a lot to talk about, unfortunately. That's kind of it. I've been playing Fallout 4, and I've gotten further than I ever have. It's still not a good game, but it's keeping my attention. There are things I do like about it, though. I mean, the gun modding is pretty great. I had other things. I wrote out a list because I wanted to try to be positive about it, because I'm trying to not hate things as much. Some of the character interaction is really nice. Some of the unmarked quests are very interesting, actually. Yeah. The vaults continue to be very entertaining. Like what the goals of each vault is. They're very nice, very creative. And yeah, I think that's really it.
I just remembered there was an Xbox showcase thing that happened.
It was a thing.
It did not convince me to buy an Xbox.
No. I think they're half and half, just more trying to convince you to get Game Pass. Which, fair enough. That's actually kind of a decent deal.
I got into a whole discussion with people because their big stinger at the end was a short CG trailer and the word Fable.
Okay. I mean, I'm not
Fable.
upset with that.
Fable's last major game was 10 years ago. It was Fable 3.
It wasn't well received.
Well, I mean, there was The Journey.
Now I will discuss the other games that are not the quote-unquote major games, but other games that we've gotten. After Fable 3, we got Fable Coin Golf, Fable Heroes,
What
Fable
the
the
fuck?
Journey, Fable Anniversary in 2014, Fable Fortune in 2017, which was a free-to-play digital collectible card game, and then Fable now being announced this year for like no time at all in the future. I guess maybe 2021, 2022. I can't tell.
Fable coin. What?
Yes, Fable Coin Golf.
Coin golf was a thing in the first game.
Huh.
Basically, you
After-
flick a coin and try and get it through around like jugs and stuff that would be on a table. Flick it into a hole.
Fable Heroes was a Xbox arcade bad beat 'em up. Fable the Journey was the on rails Connect game. And then Fable Fortune was the digital card game. So those are the 4 games that we got since Fable 3. So I was a bit like, I'm sorry, but you can't just show a CG trailer with the word Fable to get me excited.
No, that name doesn't have that kind of weight anymore.
I don't think it's even really a thing. Like, what Fable was an RPG that tried to have a sense of humor about RPGs, and that sense of humor was very British. It was very British. And I imagine a lot of that came from Mr. Molyneux. He's very much not part of that series anymore, for pretty obvious reasons. So I don't know what the identity of that series will be without, the major people that were very important to what made that game stand out.
Yeah, I was very wary. It is being made by Playground Games, which are the British development team that makes the Forza Horizon series.
Yeah, that's not the same thing at all. That's not even close.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So
I watched that CG trailer and it's like, okay, that. Like, you remember the old trailers for, like, Fable 2 and 3 where it had the fucking... I think 2 had, like, the sparrow and it was all, like,
Yeah.
fun and whimsical, and then it shat on the protagonist's head.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of humor. And then you had 3 that was the gigantic slapstick routine with the chicken.
Yeah.
And then you have this one where a fairy is just like hanging out, being cool and stuff, and then it gets eaten by a frog. And that was sudden and surprising. I'm not sure it was funny.
It's not quite the same sort of energy as the past games.
Yeah, it was like the previous games were like, they had dark elements, like, holy shit, kidnapping children to turn them into monsters was a whole thing in that series. But, like, this seems to be going for humor, and it comes across as a bit more mean-spirited than the humor in the actual Fable games.
Also, it's a reboot.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that's a bad thing. The story of the Fable games was like, ooh.
Yeah.
The first game was pretty standard, but, it was solid. And then they decided to do something interesting, which was, hey, populist uprising against superpowered people. Okay, that's a ballsy choice, though it happened behind the scenes in a time skip, so that was less cool. And then Teresa happened. And that was a whole series of missteps. Like, they did not know what they were doing with that character.
Yeah, I don't know if they just weren't given enough time, or they just implemented her without actually planning out things for her.
Speaking of DM NPCs.
Yeah. Yeah, accurate.
Yeah. So, I'm not exactly going to mourn the Fable that was. Like, there were good things about it. I very much liked Fable Anniversary. That's still a good game, and it's on PC. You can play it anytime. Fable 2, there are bits and pieces of it that I still think were quite good. There were bits and pieces that were very much not, but, you know, take the good with the bad. And then there was 3, which doesn't need talking about. So
if you put a mod in to make the land management and the rent stuff less tedious, and you gameplay wise, it was fun. It was fun to play. The story was its own thing.
I did enjoy playing all 3 of the games. My brother loves Fable 3. I'm more of a Fable 2 fan and Fable 1 fan.
Fable 3 was fine to play until you got to the ending and you're like, that's it?
Yeah, exactly. I think that again, for me, it's just like I'm just kind of mad. It's like, show me gameplay, because I don't know if this is. You're not giving me enough information to work on when you just show me that CG trailer, because the last 4 games you guys have released in the Fable series have been cheap spin-offs.
I have been burned before.
Yes.
Yeah. Also worth noting that, like, the last Fable game that anyone particularly remembers, which was The Journey, also was not a Lionhead Games joint, if memory serves.
Mm-hmm.
That the series had been taken out of their hands by that point, and it still wasn't. I mean,
yeah,
Connect game, so you don't expect much, but even so,
it wasn't great.
Hopefully, it'll be I mean, the thing is, with this much time in between them.
Hello.
Shall I say?
I can't tell whether this is a joke. With this much time in between them, demonstrates how much time is between them.
Gone. He'll be back in 10 years.
Yeah, so... With this much time in between them...
Fable is not the same without Peter Molyneux to make ridiculous promises that can't be fulfilled.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from anything from that. Like, it's basically not the same. They basically announced a new IP, effectively.
Yeah.
It's, hey,
basically.
we're Microsoft, we're going to make a new RPG series because our old one went kaput.
It's, Forza Horizon games are good, but genre shifts have been done by other teams and worked out well in the past. But I don't think I can really think of a time in which a team... Oh, his internet just died. Yeah. A team that genre shifted to take on a completely different franchise, like numbered entry in a different franchise that wasn't started by them. I mean, the only thing I can think of that would be close to that would be like Fallout 3. But they acquired Fallout for that, and I don't know.
They acquired Fallout, but at the same time, they pivoted Fallout to be very much like a game they were already making in the same genre
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Maybe they make it fucking chariot racing or something? Fable chariot racing, and you can drift them and do donuts with, like, carriages?
I'd be down for drifting carriages and chariots.
Hmm.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, my internet went out. There was a pretty bad thunderstorm, so.
What was the phrase that he went out on?
When you have that much time between games.
Oh, and then I just went silent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, I went on for a while after that. Jesus Christ.
When you have
okay.
that much time between games. This much time, let me demonstrate.
10 whole years. But no, what I was trying to say was, with that much time between games, the passing of the torch means that people that are making it now, the new Fable games, are hopefully fans of the old ones, and that is definitely a double-edged sword in a lot of cases. But I remain hopeful that their passion will make a good product.
Yeah, I mean, being fans of the old ones, Fable is a series with many well understood flaws at this point, so even fans of the old ones will understand there's things that you should probably retool and rejigger and try and figure out ways to do them without them being not fun.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. There's a lot of things that can be improved quite a bit with just like some cost of or like quality of life upgrades. I feel like that was especially 3. There was a lot of just quality of life upgrades that you just tweak the game a little bit, and it would be a lot more enjoyable to play.
I still can't imagine what logic led them to making the pause menu be a place that you go to and you have to actually physically walk over to the map to look at it. And
I
you have to
completely
go
forgot
into
about
a
that.
specific room to equip different weapons and stuff and spend all your skill. It was...
You're not wrong. I mean, that feels like one of those things that they thought was interesting until they had to play it for 20 hours.
Yeah. I feel like there
Honestly,
are more
I feel like
interesting
that's
things they could have done with the whole colonizing aspect that they just kind of paid lip service to at the end of the third game and then just ignored.
Yeah.
Like, that was a whole thing. Like, Albion, quote unquote, just rocked up to a desert country. Okay. And took over, more or less. Alright.
Just bulldoze through them. Like, fuck you guys. This is ours now.
Like, that's... I mean, true to life, but okay, you probably should have done something with that then, instead of just saying, yeah, this happened. And, alright, that's... Yeah. Also, Shadow Desert Monster. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Let's focus on that instead of the wholly more interesting implications of Albion colonization with magic and shit. Yeah. Not that all that matters anyway, because it's all been tossed aside now. They're doing their own thing.
Oh, yeah, completely.
I want to know who's writing the game.
That is an interesting question.
Because, well, yes, the team is, the ones who made Forza Horizon. We don't know who the lead writer is on this project and what they've done. Because I feel like as much as you can talk about the gameplay, it's the writing that really is going to make the difference. It's the writing that the series is known for, that humor.
Yeah. I mean, it's an RPG. They tend to live or die on writing as often as not.
So, until they reveal more information who's writing on this, I'm going to be very skeptical because they don't have a good track record. So just the series, not the development team.
Yeah. But again, it's a reboot. It's basically a new franchise instead of an old one. It's a new franchise with like pretensions of nostalgia for an old one. I did like the look of that fucking fantasy animal thingy, though. I forget what it's called already.
I didn't really sit down and watch the whole Xbox showcase because I'd forgotten
my talk over it. It was right after the Halo like gameplay trailer. It was like a very stylized thing with really weird animals. Like there was a giant dog that ripped a tree out of the ground and carried it with its tail. It was fucking rad as shit. Yeah, it looked really cool. Okay, Xbox Showcase games list. Alright, okay. That wasn't in it. I don't know whether this is the right one. No, it's the right day. Okay. It's Echo Generation. Okay, State of Decay 3 is a thing that exists for what it is. Everwild, that's it.
Everwild. That's made by Rare.
Oh, it's a Rare game. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, stepping up that game, I guess. Like, holy shit. Because that thing was gorgeous. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that looks beautiful.
Yeah. I want that. So, yeah. I'm very into that. And State of Decay, just like fucking whatever.
Obsidian is making Avowed, which is they're attempted. It looked like from what I saw, they're attempted making their version of Elder Scrolls set in the Pillars of Eternity world.
Yes.
Which I still need to go back and play Pillars of Eternity, but yeah.
It might be a better fit for modern audiences, I guess. I suppose. In fairness, I haven't gone back to play Pillars of Eternity 2 yet, even though it's very complete by now.
But, Outer Worlds is getting its next DLC.
And it can fuck off.
I was going to play Outer Worlds, and then I heard about that, and I'm like, oh, now I can't play it. Fuck. Well, I replay it. I've already played it, and I keep hitting the same problems every time.
That it's boring.
I have noticed I have to go back to that game.
No, it's the problem is that once you hit that planet that is run by the board, if your reputation is low enough, the entire planet is automatically hostile to you the second you show up. Which happens every time, because by that point I've already made an enemy of them because you get a lot of stuff for siding with the other side. It's bad. It's just bad. The rest of the game was okay. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was knockoff Fallout in space. It's fine.
It was boring. I'm just gonna...
Okay, fine. It was a little boring. Fine, whatever. I had a decent time playing it.
Yeah, I wish it was more interesting than it was.
Yeah,
that's disappointing.
There was also that new Halo game, Halo Infinite, in which they gave Master Chief a grappling hook, and that was pretty cool. But I have no idea what's going on in that story.
There is a Halo. It got broke, and the Master Chief's there now. And there is a big dude with a beard, and he's like, "Come get some, Master Chief."
So
he
Halo
does.
4. I didn't like playing that story mode. I didn't like it. Halo 5, I didn't even touch.
Was Halo 4 the one where you kept switching between the teams, or was that 5?
That was
I think
5.
that's
Oh,
5.
okay.
That's the
Halo
one with Laura
4,
Bailey Spartan, and that was pretty cool.
Halo 4 introduced that new enemy type.
Oh, right, the things that instant kill you.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I wonder why I stopped playing the story. And now all those things are gone, and now apparently there's this faction of the Covenant called the Banished.
How many fucking factions do they have? It seems like every game there's some splinter faction from them. I get it, but still.
I saw one of the trailers on one of the comments on one of the trailers is like, did these people not play Halo Wars 2? Why is everybody so confused who the Banished is? And like, there was a Halo Wars 2?
All units. All units.
Yeah, that one got released with not a lot of fanfare. Like, at all.
They had the guy say all units. That's all the fanfare you need. All units.
I played Halo Wars 1 and then my disc broke.
Oh.
Did you at least hear him say all units first?
I don't remember anything about that game.
Mm.
I do remember hating that game, though.
It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't super good. It was their first foray into RTSs, so it had some problems.
The fuck else happened during that showcase? There was Psychonauts 2. That was a cool thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. That's official?
I mean, yeah. Of course, it's like we've known about that for a while.
Balan.
Well, that's what I mean. We've been hearing rumors and snippets about Psychonauts 2 forever, but having an actual thing at a game show is different. More meaningful.
There was Stalker 2, Warhammer 40K,
Zero doesn't
Darktide.
want us to talk about Psychonauts 2, I guess.
Psychonauts 2. I don't know anything about Psychonauts.
They had a long trailer that had what looked like some gameplay stuff, and also just a lot of weird imagery, which is basically all you want from a Psychonauts game.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
psychedelic 60s Beatles.
Yeah. And there is a vehicle called the Feelsmobile. I don't know how I feel about that.
We'll get inside the mobile and maybe you'll get some feels.
The pun, by which I mean don't fucking talk to me again.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that because of course I am, because fucking Psychonauts, and I don't know, yeah, it doesn't really matter to me what they say about that game. I will buy it day one, even if I won't play it day one because I will not have time. But the Ori stuff, Outer Worlds, fucking whatever. Grounded. What was Grounded? I don't care what Grounded was. Avowed. As Dusk Falls, which is... I don't know what that is, because it showed... It was basically a fucking animatic, is what they showed. Just, like, a bunch of people go to the west, like, Western America kind of place, you know, with rural deserts and shit, and then a robbery happens, and then a bunch of people are having shocked faces in still shots, and then going to places in still shots, and I don't know what the fuck this thing is supposed to be. I don't think they told us anything.
That feels like par for the course for a lot of these kinds of shows, though. I mean,
It's apparently an interactive drama, according to one of the write-ups on a games site. True achievements, that's it.
that's like technically calling something character action. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. To me, it sounds like it's going to be Life is Strange, like.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Which, yeah, okay, sure. Why not? it's not for me, but some people like that kind of thing, so okay. Destiny 2, who gives a fuck? Stalker 2, some people are into that. I'm not one of them, but, you know, to each their own. Warhammer game, and that's... Oh, and The Gunk, which looks like fucking Super Mario Sunshine in, I don't know, just that kind of modern style that is cartoony but looks kind of vaguely Steven Universe kind of aesthetic, only in 3D.
Oh, okay. I got what you mean.
Yeah, that kind of look. Like, okay, that it really doesn't appeal to me, but okay. Yeah, but it looks like fucking Mario Sunshine with monsters and stuff called The Gunk.
Oh, there was a Balan Wonderland was shown off. It's not going to be an Xbox exclusive or anything, but it is made by Yuji Naka.
That's not a seal of quality anymore.
Yuji Naka and Naoto Oshima, co-creators of Sonic the Hedgehog and Knights, have made Balan Wonderland. They're working with Square Enix to make this. I like the aesthetic. I'm not sure if it'll be good. It doesn't look like... It looked bad on the Switch for the Switch trailer, so maybe not get that on the Switch.
Or just don't get it all, because Yuji Naka does not make very good games nowadays.
What's he made recently?
Not much. Like, I remember there was the fucking... what was it called? Let's Tap for Wii.
Oh.
And
I
last
honestly
game
couldn't tell you anything else he's made recently.
The last game that Naoto Oshima has worked on is Hey Pikmin. And before that, Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. Okay.
Oh boy. Okay. Yuji Naka's game history is from 2008, let's go with. Let's Tap. Let's Catch. Ivy the Kiwi? With a question mark. That question mark was in the title. I didn't add that for an affectation. It doesn't even know what it is. We Play Motion. Fishing Resort. Street Pass Mansion. Digimon All-Star Rumble. Was that a good one? I don't know Digimon.
Digimon All-Star Rumble. Let me just double check which one. I
didn't play that one. I couldn't tell you.
All-Star Rumble, no.
Oh, this title. Okay. Hi, H-I, like hello. Cool. S, capital C, O-O-O-L, exclamation mark. Seha Girls. S-E-H-A Girls.
It's, he was voice acting in it because it's, Sega Hard Girls, which is a whole thing where they reimagine the Sega consoles as it's an Neptunia thing for Sega.
Okay, still not a great, like, fucking Christ, this guy's career has gone down the shitter. Rodea the Sky Soldier.
That one's good.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Street Pass Fishing. Street Pass
Nope.
Chef.
No.
Legend of Coin. And then Balan Wonderworld.
I assume Legend of Coin is some kind of mobile game.
I don't know. It does not have a page of its own, apparently.
Oh,
And-
wow. That's bad.
I cannot forgive Naoto Oshima because he made Yoshi's New Island.
Is that painfully bad?
Yes. Blue Dragon links the Time Sweeper he worked on in 2002. But I think the more I look into this, the more it's just Balan Wonderworld is made by people who made very good things in the past.
Make very good things very long time ago. Like, this is saying, hey, let's let the Shenmue guy make a new game. Well, that happened. How'd it go?
Did that come out?
Yeah, Shenmue 3 came out. It was...
Bad.
You should watch the new Eye Patch Wolf video on it. It's a trip.
Oh my, I didn't even know it came out.
It literally starts with him going, oh no, it's bad, it's so bad. Oh god, I've wasted my life. 19 years! I've wasted 19 years waiting for this game. So Shenmue 3 came out. It's not very good.
That's a strong start.
Yeah, I've watched it 3 times. It is a very entertaining video, even if through like depressing means. Like, I can't imagine the disappointment. Oh boy. I love that dude. He's fucking great.
Man.
I wish he updated more. I mean, I love listening to his voice. He's great.
So, gosh, there was I almost forgot, there was the Nintendo Direct Mini.
Was there?
Yeah, where they showcased that there's going to be new DLC for Cadence of Hyrule, but then also SMT5 and is confirmed for next year. They showed a trailer. It looks very, very good. And then SMT3 Nocturne is getting an HD remake.
Is it still going to have Dante in it?
No, he's getting replaced by what's his name? Raiho Kuzunoa?
Yeah, probably Righto. I don't think it would be a rights issue if they had him as opposed to Dante.
He was replaced. Like in other versions, he was replacing Dante anyway. So
yeah, they already have the assets there.
Also, I almost forgot. The showcase they're doing a Type Moon Studio, BB, the game development studio for Type Moon, has announced their first project, which is Fate Extra Record, a HD full remake of Fate Extra.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't know anything about any of the Fate games aside from Fate Go and the original visual novel. So, are any of them actual games?
Yes.
Oh.
Fate Extra is an actual full-on RPG, where you basically, at the start of the game, you choose a servant, and they are essentially your starter Pokemon. You don't collect Pokemon. You have your one servant that you go with, and they have a very specific play style. And in the original Fate Extra, what you would do is, as they leveled up, you'd get skill points you could assign into various stats to kind of create your build. And like Nero was the easiest difficulty.
Don't say that about her.
She was, because she was the most powerful, because Saber is the strongest class, obviously. Archer was the...
That's not fair.
Yeah. Archer was the intermediate difficulty, and it was Archer from Fate Stay. And then the Maniac mode was picking Tamamo because she dies in like 2 hits. So you need to be very good in reading your opponent and making the correct calls. And then once you get later on into the game and she has access to her entire kit and spells, she's incredibly fun to use. Also,
or you could just let her die in the first 5 minutes and the world is a better place.
Also, Fate Go does her character like terrible disservice. She's way better in Fate Extra.
My understanding is her character is her creator's waifu, and he's very protective of her and wants her relationship in Fate Extra to be the canon one, so you can't have anything happen with anything with Tamamo in anything else ever.
That sucks, because she's a good...
my understanding.
Well, I don't know, like, I don't know anything about that. I just know that she's a good character in Fate Extra. with a lot of depth to her.
Hmm.
And she feels very flanderized in later games and stuff, which is unfortunate.
Now, if she's an unpopular character because of those factors, I could see people, distilling her character down because who cares?
Also, I'd like Tamamo Cat to die, just in general. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the Fur Affinity characters. Thank you very much. I play it up a lot, but I'm really not into that character specifically. Just Tamamo really annoys me.
I personally have never. I don't get that, but okay. Again, my first exposure to the character was Fate Extra, so very different sort of perspective, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. I did not get introduced to that character in the best light, let's say.
Mm-hmm. And so that tends to, color your perceptions. But Fate Extra is very, very good. After Fate Extra record is released, they're thinking about possibly remaking Fate Extra CCC. The difficulty is, bringing that west because there's some loot stuff in that game.
You mean good stuff?
Yeah.
But I'm assuming all of this is heavily dependent on if it sells.
Probably, yeah, but it will sell. It's Fate.
Yeah, I mean, with the popularity of Fate Go now, yeah, it'll do a lot better than it would have done, say, 10 years ago.
And Fate Extra originally was very poorly marketed, and I only knew about it when it was coming out because I was a Fate fan, and I was like, "Oh, there's a new game! Yay!" Because I've never actually played a full-on game where you get to be the master and run around a school setting, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. But they are changing the gameplay because the original gameplay is pretty not great in certain ways, because it was all about basically you get 6 actions per turn, and then you have to do actions in a rock paper scissors type, trying to predict what your enemy is going to do based on information that you got from encountering them before. And so okay, so because I fully investigated this enemy servant, I know on turn 3 because the game has revealed it to me that they're going to do their skill, and then on the final turn they're going to use a noble phantasm, so I can block on this and do that. Yeah, but yeah, that game needs a remake. It was on the PSP, for reference.
Oh.
So
yeah, I feel like most PSP games.
And then the sort of sequel. It's not really a sequel. It's a different alternate version of it, I guess, with a completely different story. CCC was only on PS Vita.
CCC is the thing that BB's from, which is the character in that picture there.
Mm-hmm.
So Slice's reference.
Yes. Sorry, you cut out just a little. What did you say?
BB is from CCC, which is the character in that picture, which is basically evil AI Sakura.
Okay.
Because Fate Extra takes place in this location called the Moon Cell, which is this ancient, omniscient supercomputer.
What is it with Fate and moons? They're universally the big bad enemy thing.
The normal big bad enemy moon doesn't exist in the Fate Extra universe because it's the Moon Cell instead.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, different universe, different setting. Anyway, this the Fate Extra leads into the Fate Extella games, which are Muso games, basically with Fate characters that continue the story of Fate Extra. So Fate Extella Link, Fate Extra CCC are the actual games of the Fate Extra series, aside from then you have the gacha game Fate Go. But yeah, those are the actual games. And then you have all these spin-off manga, light novels, and whatever. Well, you can just every time I hear of a new one, I'm like, what? How did this one exist? Because apparently Fate is Japan's Marvel now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's accurate. Huh.
So lots of new games, but people were upset about the whole Nintendo Direct thing because it's just Nintendo fans who don't know anything about SMT. When it was like the first time we'd heard about SMT5 since before the Switch was like during the Switch reveal before it was released. It's like we have SMT5 working on, and then 3 years later they're like, "Here's a trailer for SMT5," and then the Nintendo fans like, "I wanted the Smash character and a new Zelda and new Metroid right now for this 8-minute mini direct." Hmm.
Yeah, okay. You enjoy having those expectations, see what it gets you, kind of thing.
Yep. Good old Nintendo fan base. Just a bunch of very angry people who want more and more and more in the middle of a pandemic.
It's fascinating that
Always.
people want a new fucking Metroid.
Well, Metroid Prime 4, they want to find more information on that. Because they're working on that. We haven't heard from that in a while. But they did say that they had restarted development on it because they were switching teams and they weren't liking what they were getting.
Hmm.
But I keep hearing the sentiment of Nintendo has no games for the latter half of the year. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the things that Sony and Xbox are revealing aren't new games coming out this year either. There's new games, but they're not coming out this year.
Like, oh no, the Switch doesn't have new games. Well, Sony and Microsoft are launching new consoles, so they're just going to dump shovelware. So it's not like they're losing out.
Yeah, there's still fun indie games and stuff that are coming out on Switch. It's not just like AAA stuff, but I remember I watched that whole PS5 reveal event, and then it's like we have all these new games. I'm like, which ones are coming out in the fall or like during the release? It's like Miles Morales, cool. Anything else? Crickets. And Xbox was bragging we're gonna have 100 games at launch. It's like all those games are old games.
That doesn't. That's not. That doesn't count.
I am wondering. I haven't heard anything about backwards compatibility for either machine. Whether confirming or denying.
Well, I know the. Let me just double check. Actually, I mistyped it. I put ZBox. Xbox Series X because it's a stupid name. Backwards compatibility. All right, here's a. It says It says that the console will be able to be backwards compatible with games and accessories from past things like controllers.
Same with PS5. So
Yeah.
both are backwards compatible. So they will have libraries of games like built in. It's just a case of whether you want to be an early adopter and play the couple of new titles first.
Yeah.
As with most systems, there's going to eventually be a game that will sell me on it, and I'll probably get it. But I'm good for a while.
I'll get the PS5 once they put the new Digimon game on it.
What would I need to get a PS5? God of War, probably. at this point.
God of War, yeah. Persona 6.
Persona
Sure.
6 is a long way out.
I know. But I'm just saying that's one thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
in terms of what might come
Yeah,
out
it
in
is
a
a long way
reasonable
out.
time frame, probably God of War. That's about it. That's all I got. Sorry, what were you going to say, Slessa?
Yeah, Persona 6 is definitely a system seller, I would say, but you're both right. It is a long one.
I don't think that Spider-Man is enough to sell me on the system.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the PS4 Spider-Man game was fantastic, but it wasn't like system seller levels good.
Yeah.
I don't think it.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
We went off on a long rant, and I think I interrupted Slicer's week when I did that.
No, I was spinning my wheels. I wasn't really going anywhere else. I don't have anything else. It's just D&D and video games, basically.
Yeah.
What did you do, Casey?
I watched Sonic, the movie.
Oh, you watched Sonic the movie.
Yeah, that was okay. I mean,
They're
it wasn't
making
terrible.
They confirmed they're making the sequel.
I'm not surprised.
It did pretty well.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I mean, that's saying a lot for a video game movie.
Especially for a Sonic thing.
Yeah, it wasn't cringy. Also, there was a part where Sonic does the floss, the Fortnite dance. That happened for like half a second. That wasn't as bad as I was led to believe. I thought he was going to do that on screen in the middle of the screen for several seconds, but it was just like a split second. It was like a dab, basically, but which would also have been cringy, but whatever.
Flossing is just a thing that we're just gonna have to get fucking used to. It's a thing.
Yeah.
We're old men. We don't get it. We don't want to get it, but fine. You kids have your fun with your stupid dances and shit.
I don't really care. I mean, it looks interesting and it takes, skill to pull
Hearing
off.
you talk about flossing like that makes me want to learn how to floss just to piss you off.
I assume you mean Casey, because I would just kind of applaud you for learning a skill. Yeah.
It's a sort of thing where it's like, I really appreciate the ironic dab. Until it becomes unironic, and then you just do it on reflex.
Yeah, it becomes less ironic every time you do it. At least that's the experience my friends seem to have.
I'm with dabbing, personally. I'm alright with that.
I'm not upset at anybody who has fun with their little dance. In fact, teach it to me so that I can piss off old people even more. There's no reason to be mad at it anyways. Because we all, when we were kids, we did stupid stuff too.
You're not wrong.
It's just the flow of time.
They're also both dying. I mean, I haven't seen someone dab in months. And aside from that Sonic thing, I haven't seen anyone do the floss in also months.
Well, nobody's been outside to do it with their friends.
That's a fair point. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you realize how much dabbing is involved in D&D, but there was a lot for a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean,
it's
at
one point, my D&D...
the moral high ground. I don't care about D&D anymore. Fucking stop talking about D&D. Yeah. Yeah. Remember the Macarena? Yeah, we don't have moral high ground. That's not a thing we have. So, yeah. So, it's just, yeah, they can have their fun. Or the cha-cha slide or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Oh, Temmie now has a live 2D rig set up for like the like the VTubers do. Temmie of Undertale fame. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't want to look into that. So, my week, which will be brief because we're like an hour and a half in, and also because I don't have that much, I found out I'm fat this week, I guess.
How fat are you?
Buying new clothes in my size and the buttonholes ripping open.
That's
Ouch.
pretty fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. So I started exercising. Which is
Yay! Join the fitness club.
yeah. Well, I would. It's slow going because I started doing stair running because it's a thing I can do easily because I have stairs. And yeah, I did that for like 5 minutes and my legs wouldn't move anymore.
You
Yeah,
gotta
stairs
pace
are
yourself.
stairs are rough. That's a intense place to start.
I mean, it takes very little space, and I can just do it until I get tired and then stop. Is my thinking. So, yeah, I couldn't do that again for a couple of days after I did that. I got fucking dumbs from running on stairs for 5 minutes. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try and keep on doing that, and hopefully my belly will shrink. I hope. That'd be nice. Yeah. That's basically it,
So,
though. I got not much else.
mm,
I already talked about the fucking showcase and the uh, YouTube video rabbit hole I went down. So
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If I can lose 55 pounds, you can probably lose just as much, if not more. I don't know how overweight you are, but you can do it. I believe in you.
I haven't weighed myself in a while, but I was like 14 stone when I went to the hospital a long time ago, like a year ago. I've only gotten bigger since, so probably not great.
Mm. Maybe weight yourself so you like have kind of where you're at, just to know, and then like set a goal.
Doesn't hurt to have a baseline.
And once you reach that goal, set a new goal. Set a new goal. Definitely make sure you're watching what you're eating as well. That's kind of the big thing, is exercising and eating right.
Yeah, I can do one of those things, which is the exercising. Fuck the other thing.
Okay.
That might not work, but okay.
It's your life. It's your body.
I mean, it's not like I overeat in the first place. I eat when I'm hungry, and pretty much no other time. To the point where I get low blood sugar a lot. So
Mm-hmm. But it's about like what you eat, you know.
it's about what you eat and how much you eat. Let's not
Yeah,
mince words about that. That's
that is
not
true.
really
But
fair. Yeah.
what you eat does matter.
It does. But exercising would also offset a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
problem. So, yeah.
Like I never went full keto diet like my parents did. I went with just kind of a low carb sort of thing. Um, but the whole thing with a keto diet was that it would be forcing your body to,
Yeah, I will never in a
consume.
million years do a fucking fad diet. You can eat my ass. Not gonna happen.
Like my parents are off the keto diet. Nobody's on that diet anymore.
Yeah.
But it was very good for.
They are bad ideas. You shouldn't
Yeah.
do like. If you want to do dieting, then just do regular diet. That's fine.
Yeah,
Just eat
which
less
is what I
and
did.
eat a lot
I
more
did like
greens.
I did like a low carb diet just so I could, get down to where I could go to a more regular sort of diet and then have that workout, and now I can just kind of maintain my weight without too much effort while slightly losing. So
Yeah.
You know. I wish you the best.
Yeah.
Fight on. Body Improvement Club.
Woo.
Do some push-ups.
I need to clean out my flat before I can do push-ups. Literally don't have the room.
Yeah, that it does require some space, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's a podcast. Let's fucking call it there.
I'd say we're good. That's
Yeah,
like 2.5 hours almost.
Yeah. I did not think my patience would last this long, but yes, it has. So, yeah, Discord, link in the description. Patreon, link in the description. Also, charities are still a really good thing to donate to also, if you feel like it. That would probably be good. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Bye, everybody.
Bye.